What are you doing? Gren looked up from the book he was reading and saw Master Xiz standing over him. On purpose, Gren closed the book he was reading so Xiz couldn't see what he had been researching. Nothing, replied Gren. I had some free time, and I thought I would pass it by reading. Xiz smirked. Do you think I was born yesterday? Asked Xiz. Not at all, replied Gren. Getting all those gray hairs had to take time. There's no way you could get them all in one day. Xiz frowned. Gren, watch your tongue, said Xiz, or you won't live long enough to get your own gray hair. Gren shifted in his seat a little bit. Is that a threat? Asked Gren. Xiz smiled and shook his head no. Not at all, replied Xiz. Just some friendly advice from one mage to another. Oh, I meant from one mage to an enchanter. And there was the jab. Xiz looked down on anyone who wasn't a mage. If you couldn't use magic directly, then Xiz viewed you as lower than him. Granted, Xiz looked down on everyone. He even looked down on other high mages. Both the true mages, as he would call them, and the enchanters. But there were a few high mages that didn't put up with his crap, and they had the power to kick him out of the order if he stepped too far out of line. Gren didn't have that kind of power in the order, but he didn't back down when Xiz mistreated him. In fact, he fired back most of the time. There were times when he chose to keep silent. Some battles weren't worth the headache they brought. But when Xiz was being bigoted like this, Gren never kept his mouth shut and called him out every time. And who was the enchanter that did that job you couldn't do? Asked Gren. Oh, I think that was me. Xiz got a sour look on his face. He hated it when his failures were pointed out, and it was one of his sore spots. Xiz took the book that Gren had been reading and tucked it under his right arm. What are you doing? Asked Gren. My job, replied Xiz. I'm going to review this book to make sure there's no dark spells in its pages. You can have it back when I'm done. And with that, Xiz took the book and left. When Xiz was gone, Gren let out a sigh of relief. Dealing with Xiz was draining. Just talking with the guy was hard. It took all of Gren's strength not to rip the master a new asshole. It was a wonder how Xiz had lived as long as he did. In his life, he had to have pissed off a lot of people. It was a miracle one hadn't shoved a dagger in his back or a fireball to his face. Gren shook those thoughts from his mind. He had more important things to do than worry about a jerk that death would take sooner rather than later. He had learned what he needed from the book before Xiz had taken it. Now all he had to do was gather the materials to find what he was looking for.